So, you think you know the narcissist. You think you know what they are or are not capable of. And I'm here to tell you, chances are, you have no idea what they are really capable of. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and in this video, I'm going to share some things you may think the narcissist in your life could never do, and you would be wrong. Now, if you're already out of the relationship with the narcissist, well, then you probably already know they're capable of anything. The very things they swore they'd never do, well, they do those things. In fact, if you think back on what that narcissist told you they'd never do, they were actually telling you just what they were capable of doing. As a general rule of thumb, whatever a narcissist says, it's more than likely the opposite of that is what the actual truth is. So the narcissist swore they'd never hurt you. They'd never cheat on you. They'd love you forever. They swore you were the love of their life. Oh, they swore you were their soulmate. You know, it's amazing how many soulmates these narcissists have. And what you don't know if you're the new supply is they've said this to literally everyone they've ever been in a relationship with. The narcissists will promise you that they would never destroy your property, no matter what, no matter how angry they are. They may even complain about how someone in their past destroyed their personal property, when more than likely, they're probably the ones who did the destroying. The ex-narc in my life destroyed photos of me, my children, and other family members. And what's interesting is that during our marriage, he told me his ex-girlfriend destroyed his personal photos. Of course, later on, he accused me of destroying photos of his. Now, there's a teeny truth in that, and nothing like the way he tells it, but here it goes. The truth is, my ex-husband was keeping nude photos of his second wife in our bedroom. I came across these photos. I confronted him about it. And keep in mind, this relationship had been over for like 20 years. I mean, a long time. Now, I could have destroyed them when I found them, but I didn't. I brought it to his attention, and he argued to keep them, saying, believe it or not, he was saving them to give to his ex-wife's children one day. For real. Why would anyone want nude photos of their own mother? Oh my God. After some time, he told me to just go ahead and burn the photos the next time we had a bonfire. So I did. Later, he claimed that I just burned them without his knowledge. Now, he destroyed my photos when I left, and because I had served him with divorce papers, he didn't see it coming. And that gave him the reason to destroy the photos in his mind. He even admitted to this in a letter that he wrote me. Now, not only that, but at the same time, he destroyed my deceased father's ashes and urn. There's more about that in the video, Why I Exposed the Narcissist Publicly, and the link for that is in the description box below. Narcissists are capable of literally anything. Once you know they're a narcissist and you know narcissists have no empathy, you have to realize they really are capable of anything. They are able to justify their nasty behavior by telling themselves and others that you deserved whatever they did to you. Now, assuming they even admit to it in the first place, they're going to say they acted out of character because of your awful behavior. Basically, you made them do it. It's your fault. Now, if you're the new victim, the new supply, you're going to believe that even if they did do terrible things to their ex, they could never do that to you. Sweetie, you are wrong. Narcissists don't learn from their past, and they do not get better. They get worse. I never believed my ex-narc would ever scream or yell at me the way that he did with his ex. I actually heard him scream at his ex this way. She warned me that the same would happen to me. I was in the love bombing stage, so I didn't believe her. I was wrong. I certainly didn't believe or even imagine that my ex-narc was capable of violence. And again, I was wrong. My narc ex-husband brought a man into our home that he found on Craigslist. Yes, on Craigslist. He had hired him to do some contracted work. Now, that wasn't in our home. It was work being done at another location. He knew nothing about this man, yet he called me to tell me he was bringing this guy home to spend the night. The reason for this was because the guy was working on the project still and he lived about 2 hours away. I felt uneasy about my husband bringing a stranger into our home that he met on Craigslist and expressed my concern. My husband dismissed my concerns as usual, calling me paranoid and judgmental. I didn't want yet another argument with him, so I basically just shut up, and I even made dinner for the three of us. The next day, my husband brought him home again for the very same reasons. Now, less than a week later, I left town, to visit my family and also to escape my husband, and that story is in another video, and the link is in the description box below. I had only been gone a few days when I received a call from my husband telling me that his handgun had gone missing. A handgun, he told me, that was fully loaded and in his nightstand beside our bed. Now, my first thought was, what handgun? Why is there a loaded gun in our bedroom that I had no knowledge of? He never told me about. When I asked my husband these questions, his response was that he meant to tell me and he just forgot to do so. And this didn't really make sense because my husband would tell me the most mundane things, like about his latest trip to Costco. So it felt weird, and honestly, considering his behavior towards me and his rages, it was scary for me to hear about this. So after talking to some people who had been in the house, he had reported the gun as stolen or missing to the police. Sometime later, the same guy who had done work for him, the same guy he brought into our home, he found out that this guy was literally a convicted felon who had served time in prison. This same guy had also been charged and tried for the murder of a 14-year-old girl. The guy was acquitted for that, but he was charged and tried for murder. So when he told me this, I was horrified, thinking, this is the man my husband brought into our home, the one I was uneasy about. And I thought about how my husband had ridiculed me for my concerns. So the police really couldn't do much more than take a report, and they did try to obtain a DNA sample from the nightstand or inside it, whatever. And from what I know, they were actually unable to obtain a testable sample that they could use. For once, though, my husband couldn't blame me for something. I didn't bring the guy to our house, and I didn't know anything about the gun. And my husband even stated this fact in his written report to the police. Now, here's the scary part. My husband was not happy with the way the police were handling it. He thought they were inept. So he attempted to set the guy up. He invited him into our home. Now, thankfully, I was safely away out of town, so I wasn't there. And he told me he planned to confront this guy about the gun and demand it back. And if he didn't give it back, he planned to shoot him. What? When I asked, how are you going to shoot him? Your gun's gone. He told me that he had another handgun. What? Another gun I've never seen, I've never heard about. What? When I told him that if he carried out this idiotic plan of his, it would be murder. It would be first-degree murder, and he would go to jail. He told me I was completely wrong, that it was justifiable, that he would be basically doing society a favor, that this man was a thief, and that he had killed a young girl and had gotten away with that murder, and therefore he deserved to be put down, quote, like an animal. Oh my God. I was mortified. I couldn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. I was so glad I was out of that house and away from him. Even with everything I had experienced, I would have never imagined he would seriously think and behave this way. And just on a side note, for the flying monkeys who like to monitor this channel, I can prove every word I just said, both with emails from my ex-husband as well as recorded phone conversations, so fly away, little monkeys. Now, this incident was one of many that let me know my now ex-husband was and is literally capable of anything. So never underestimate what a narcissist is capable of. You may think you know them, but you really don't. The closest you'll ever come to really knowing just how low they can go is after the relationship ends. And if you're the one who leaves them, you'll see it even more. The narcissist lives for the day they can devalue and discard their victim. If you discard them before they're finished with you, whoa, look out. They're going to implode and explode. A relationship with a narcissist is like a competition to them. They want the last word, and they want to win at any cost. In the relationship with a narcissist, you're in a competition you never signed up for, you never knew about, and no one ever gave you the rule book. So the only real way to win is to stop playing the game and get out. So tell me in the comments, did the narcissist in your life do something you never thought they were capable of doing? Tell me what happened. Let's talk about it. And if there's a topic you'd like me to discuss, let me know. We might make a video about that at some later date. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, have a blessed day.